Shabbat Shalom, everybody in Christ's body. Yeah, we live. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. How we doing? Trying something new out. How's everybody out there? Can y'all hear me? Praise it to the Most High. All right, let's hang out. Random Sabbath scripture. Who got one? I noticed this thing got a lag on it. How y'all like the layout? Huh? Is it dope or no? Dope or nope, huh? See something? Ooh, it's cold. Have to get me a jacket. Hold up, y'all. How y'all doing? It ain't just about me now, right? Yeah, it does, huh? It appears reversed. Let's see. Kabang. It ain't reversed no more. There it is. Let's get to it. Yeah, I'm recording this too, y'all. So we gonna keep this one live, and after we finish, I'm gonna upload it back up, and anything that I said, it'll still be there, right? Cause it ain't only coming through the internet, right? So all praise to the Most High. When I upload it back up, we'll still be able to get it all. It was a beautiful day today. It was so nice outside. How was it where you live? It was blessed, you know. Got out real quick, took the kids out, went and got some food. Took the kids to Five Below. Let them grab a little something to put a smile on their face real quick, you know what I'm saying? It was blessed. Exodus 31 and 13. If y'all want to get there, let me get a con if you're ready to get any scriptures. All praises. All of this time before that, we're going to chop that off. We're going to just chop that off. It's going to be blessed. First time testing the waters on this thing. So get it nice and hammered out. Then we're going to be rolling. Exodus 31 and 13 says, Speak thou unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord, that does sanctify you. 14. Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Every one that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 15. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Sound like the Sabbath serious to me. 16. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. That's a marriage. A covenant, right? It's an agreement, right? So when we break the Sabbath, we are breaking that agreement, right? That is deep. You're saying much more to the Most High than just, hey, I need to do this and I need to do that. You saying some other stuff. You saying more than just that. You breaking a covenant and a promise. So that's why we had time where he winked at our ignorance, right? And then you notice it got severe once you began to keep the Sabbath, because now you understand again, right? Now you understand again. So it was like you jump back on the same covenant that your forefathers was on, right? So he ain't gonna take it lightly. When you start going back on your word, you start breaking it again, right? Nah, when you latched onto it again, he expected you to be forever on it, right? So when you start breaking that Sabbath, it's like your repentance is going out the window, right? And I don't know about you guys, but my luck get bad. My conscience start bothering me and everything, right? Now, I was running out the door to many church gatherings on the Sabbath, and you can bet that was driving a wedge. But I was ignorant. I didn't know it was wrong. I'm listening to other people. Oh, we got grace. We got grace, grace, grace. Everything is grace, right? You could do good on the Sabbath, right? The Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath, and all of this, right? And that does fine for a while, for a long time. It'll do until he start talking to you, right? Man, the Most High start talking to me, y'all. I start feeling real guilty about going somewhere on the Sabbath. And it start feeling like, yeah, we know what they saying and all of that, but you know better. You know something ain't right. You know you shouldn't be jumping in this car crack of dawn early in the morning, and it's gonna be dark when you get back, where you're gonna have to stop for gas. A serious guilt came over me about this Sabbath, man, and I wanted nothing more than just to keep it, and I remember how it used to be when you woke up on the Sabbath and you didn't do nothing. You yearned for your first love again, you know what I'm saying? Wanted to get back to that first love where I'm not doing nothing. I ain't going nowhere, right? I ain't spending no money. I ain't spending all day over a steaming pot cooking. I ain't doing none of that, right? About to relax, kick my feet up all day, take a few naps, right? Hang with the family, Back to verse 13. Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. So, are we a generation? Yes, we are. It's a late one. It's down at the end of days, but it's a generation nonetheless, right? That ye may know that I am the Lord, that does sanctify you. How did he sanctify us? He sanctified us by this Sabbath, didn't he? Yes, he did. That's how he did it, by the Sabbath, right? It's talking about the Sabbath before he says this, and then he's talking about the Sabbath after he said that, right? So let's go back into it. 6 days may work be done. 6 days out of 7. So the other 6 days, you could do whatever you want on those days. Use those days to do this other stuff that you want to do. But in the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. Why are we so hard-headed? And now we understand now, right? Who is keeping this Sabbath. Don't try to be slick about it, right? They try to be slick about it, y'all. They wasn't even going to tell us that they threw the Sabbath in the trash. Don't try to be slick about it. If we throwing the Sabbath in the trash, let me know we threw the Sabbath in the trash. Did we throw the Sabbath in the trash? Did we do exactly what 20 and 8 say not to do and forget the Sabbath? We forgot the Sabbath. But in the seventh day is the Sabbath of what? Of work? Of rest, right? No. But in the seventh day, right, is the Sabbath of driving down the freeway all day. But in the seventh day is the Sabbath of running around the kitchen all day. All the sisters cooking, running around in circles, right? Sweating. Gotta wipe their head like this. Oh, right? Gotta have a rag, right? Panting, out of breath, right? Breathing. That's a broken Sabbath, y'all. So if anything is riding on this, you in trouble. When you get to that throne, are you going to be able to say that you kept a Sabbath? Are you going to be lying to the Most High when you when you claim to have kept a Sabbath and you kept them all like that, right? But in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest. What else is it? It's holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Coming from the one who said, my word shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that unto which I sent it, right? He sent this word out. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. So every Saturday is coming. I'm breaking it. I'm not dying. I'm not getting put to death, right? We got grace, right? What death? What death are you talking about, right? And then you're going to die once in the flesh. And then you're going to get over there in that spirit. And I can't say you're going to die over there, but it's going to be talked about. And he going to have to make a decision, right? Which is a judgment. How did you do this? What vein did you do this in? Were you ignorant? Or were you hearing conversations like this that we're having right now? That's got to sit in your bosom. And now you're going to make a judgment, right? His judgment is going to be based on your judgment that you got to make right now. It ain't nothing but a decision, right? And that's what I come to do. I come to kill all of these. You know how they'll make judgment mean something deeper than what it really is, right? And it ain't nothing but a decision. Don't judge me. Don't make a decision on you. That's what you're saying? A judgment ain't nothing but a decision. We're going to make a whole lot of judgments, and so is the Father. But when we're making the same judgment, that's what's bringing us together and holding us on the same team. You see that? Amos 3:3. Amos 3:3. Right? Two can't walk together unless they agree. What does that mean? That means they're making the same judgment, right? They're locked together in judgment. So, as many times as you can make the same judgment as the Father, we need to be making that same judgment as the Father, ain't it? And I know how that feels. And that's how I'm able to bring that out like this, because I worked hard on that. I worked hard on that to be making the same decisions that the Father is making, the same judgments, and wanting the same things that he wants. And guess what happened, y'all? A peace like you can't believe. That's what happened. Like you can't lose. Why? Because the Father always wins. He can't lose. So if you want what he wants, neither can you. You can't lose either. Now that's peace, y'all. Now that's when you waking up every day and nothing can't touch you. I did years like that. All of them 20 teens, I didn't feel none of that. I went from about 2011. I did 2011 to 21 on my head, y'all. I did that upside down. I'm like, man, where has life gone? Right? I got a teenager. Before he was even born, I was facing the east doing the Shemai. Now he 13, right? And we brought that one out to the other week. Wisdom and knowledge. That was the stability of my times, right? So you can imagine how I feel when I read that scripture. I know how it is to lock into these scriptures for a decade and pew, like, man, where'd 10 years go? 1 year is 364 days. If you lockstep in the spirit for 364 days, 10 times, then what is that? How many days is that? Let's see. Have to download my calendar again. It's a new phone. 3,640 days. It's a lot of days. 3,640. Few more than that. Last letter. Where you been, last letter? How you been? Shabbat Shalom. I have not kept a Sabbath in a long time. Says last letter. Is that right? We got to get back on it. We got to get back on it. The Brewcast. Shalom. I pray y'all doing well out there. Right? So, everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. Now, see, back then, you was getting put to death right there, right? Now, what's the grace? The grace is on earth, right? If you ain't on earth no more, that's when that grace plays out, right? Grace was for the earth. You ain't gonna die because you broke the Sabbath yesterday, right? But when you meet your maker, when it's time to leave up out of this earth, right, that's when we gonna pay. So in the end, we gotta have tightened up, right, and done this right. Do we have grace? Yes, we have grace, right? But what is grace? Let's see what grace is. Let's veer from here and see what this grace is. See real quick, right? We gonna pull grace. We gonna pull grace out of the Strongs, but we want to pull a good one that's really breaking it down, you know, one that's really talking about this. Anybody want to come in? We got that too. Let's get Ephesians 2:8. Ephesians 2:8 look like a good one. You're saved by grace, right? Charis, according to the Greek, right? Grace. That which affords joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, grace of speech, goodwill. That's everything right there. Loving kindness, favor, right? Of the merciful kindness by which the Most High, exerting his holy influence upon souls, turns them to Christ, keeps, strengthens, increases them in the Christian faith, knowledge, affection, and kindness, and or Salakia, and kindles them to the exercise of Christian virtues. What is due to grace? The spiritual condition of one governed by the power of divine grace. The token or proof of grace, the benefit, right? A gift of grace. So that's what it is. You go ahead and do that, right? Just this one time, you go ahead and do that for this unique situation, right? It's not for a whole nation of people to just say, okay, we have grace, right? No, that's a token or proof of grace, which is the benefit, right? The benefit of grace, it's a gift of grace, right? So there has to be a judgment, right? How were you breaking this Sabbath? Why? Was it a situation, that allotted grace? Or was you Hebrews 10 and 26 willfully sinning, right? The benefit of a bounty. So you know what a bounty is? You are bound. That's where bounty is coming from. What is it to be bound? Where does bound come from? Bound comes from bind. So that means you were, tied down to something. Don't that sound like a covenant to me? What say you? That sound like a covenant, an agreement. Right? What's the last one? Thanks for benefits, services, favors, right? Recompense. It's a payback, a reward. Right? Why did he reward us? What reward did we deserve? We didn't deserve it, right? John 3 and 16 will break it down, right? Yeah. So yeah. And I'm seeing that clearly, y'all. And man, me and the I am who get on this, man, we gonna whip this Sabbath into shape in our last days. And we gonna have this covered. And when they ask us, did we get this Sabbath together, we gonna be able to say, yes, we did. Right? And if there was no threat, if we doing this extra out, that's cool too. Because that's how I am. I know what the Father said. And if I don't need grace, I'm not going to use grace. And that's how I'm trying to have it. If I need grace, the tire was flat or something, you know what I'm saying? Something happened, right? Last letter says facts. That's why this talk is hitting the way it's hitting. All praises to the Most High. I have no idea what we doing. I just hit this button, right? And I see y'all in here, and we just gonna start chopping it up. We just start talking, right? That living water start flowing, because we come in here and we coming with pure hearts. This ain't like nothing you seen in the past, right? This is something different, and I'm feeling it every day that I wake up. This is something new that we doing here, y'all, right? This is something else. This ain't the other stuff people been doing, y'all, right? And we got the testimony of the electric blue on our side. The background of this picture that you looking at right here, that's what I saw, fam, when I drifted into that realm. That looked like a wall that I was flying into. So I was, imagine how small we gotta be. Imagine how small I was. That thing right there looked like the sky that I was flying into. And then I got up so close on it that I could see that, man, that's a whole That's a whole bunch of whatever I am, because I was looking at my body and it was just this, that picture was made out of a whole bunch of me, right? Emotional, y'all. Emotional. I couldn't talk for days. I was in a trance. Mine was blown. Stephanie Hodge says, wouldn't it be mercy more than grace? We'll look into it. Grace is receiving favor when you don't deserve it. Ain't that what mercy is? Mercy is not getting punished when we deserve it. You might have something there, right? Megan Dillon is pulling the chotties. That must be where cherish come from, right? Because it's grace, it's favor, it's kindness, it's blessing. What's favor? What's kindness, right? Don't you see somebody just rubbing something, brushing something, right? You cherish that thing, right? It's precious to you, right? You don't want to slam it and kill it. That's how the Most High is looking at us when he's giving us grace, right? My precious creation, right? All praises to the Most High. The dog said, "Con, huh? Little stuff creeping up around here." I had to get off on the coyote the other morning. Out here, he was out here making his noise, trying to call his family. Hey, I got a whole bunch of dogs over here, and y'all come eat. I was like, oh no, you don't, right? So the dogs got some grace and mercy that day, right? And that's how the Most High be fending these demons off of us. Amari, y'all want to go to Exodus 34. Y'all want to go to Exodus 34? More specific, what verse we going to? Or you want to go to the whole thing? Any specific verse? Exodus 34. So, whole thing, huh? Right. Moses speaking up for us in time of trouble. Absolutely. He did a lot of that, huh? And he did it so good, we was like, man, we didn't want to talk to the Most High. We told Moses, hey, you just talk to him because he gonna kill us. Made Moses the spokesman. Let's get some of that, right? Let's get some of 34, Exodus 34. And the Most High said unto Moses, hew thee 2 tables of stone, chop 2 tables of stone like unto the first, and I will write upon these tablets the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest. 2, and be ready in the morning, right? Be ready in the morning and come up in the morning upon Mount Sinai, and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount. 3, and no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount. 4, and he hewed 2 tables of stone like unto the first. And Moses rose up early in the morning and went up unto Mount Sinai, as the Most High had commanded him, and took in his hand the 2 tablets of stone. 5, and the Most High descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name, and did what? And proclaimed the name of the Most High. What name y'all think it was? Right? 6, and the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Most High God, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth. 7, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression, Salakia, and sin, and that will by no means clear the guilty, right? So, how is he doing that? How is he keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquities, right? Sin that you knew was sin, and transgression and sin. He's forgiven all that, but at the same time, and that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the father upon the children, upon the children's children, unto the third and fourth generation. Right? 8. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward the earth and worshipped. And he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O Most High, let my Lord, I pray thee, go amongst us. For it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for thine inheritance. 10. And he said, behold, I make a covenant before all thy people. I will do marvels, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation. And all the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Most High, for it is a terrible thing that I do with thee. And this is the kind of stuff that he's talking about when he's saying, you know, I have showed these things to no other nation, right? These are the things that he's talking about. Verse 11, right? Observe thou that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzites, right? And the Hivites and the Jebusites. 12. Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, right? Take heed to this, or else you gonna go somewhere else and make a covenant with the people that's there. And ain't that what we have done, right? When we woke up and realized that these was our records and all of that, we had some things to fasten our foot back to, didn't we? Still trying to do it right now, right? And so you can see clearly now how we got bamboozled, y'all. And I remember in my early days of waking up, people were encouraging us to keep this law, y'all, and to keep this Sabbath. And I also know when that changed. And I also know when they start talking about something else, right? But yeah, let's not get into that, you know. But just know that I know. Just know that my soul does recall, right? Yeah. Right? Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest. This place where you going, right? Lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee, lest it be for a trap in the middle of y'all, right? 13, but ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves, right? Smash an idol, right? Like Abraham. That got Abraham chosen, y'all. It started with him doing that. Smashing idols brought forth a children of Israel, right? In his great grandchildren. So you see it's things you do in the earth, and the Most High say, aha. Right? So our forefathers, y'all, got us all chose, smashing idols. 14, for thou shalt worship no other God, for the Most High, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God, right? So when we turn our back and he see us spin our back around to deal with some other God, he's livid, right? It's like you looking at your wife flirt with another man, right? Yikes. 15, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a whoring. Ain't that what your wife would be? After their gods, and do sacrifice unto their gods. And one called thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. Better find out what that is. Food is religious. Who told you to put that with that like that and mix that with that like that and flip that and turn that over like that and do that like that? Who told you to eat that like that? Who told you to season that with that, right? Witches and stuff deal with herbs too now, y'all, and all that, right? Who told you to eat that like that? That's why this food is killing us, y'all. That's why we're coming down with all of the stuff that we're coming down with. Because we're eating a food that's to another people and another God, the way that they praise their God. And there's a scripture in here, we gonna get it one of these days too, where the Father say, don't praise me the way they praise dude, right? Because we'll do that. To this day, we do that. To this day, we see what somebody else doing for their God, and we try to flip it for the Most High, and he like, nah, don't do that, right? Don't praise me the way they praise old boy over there, right? One of my underlings, right? That's a goofy people, and he's a goofy God, and I don't want you doing that to me, right? 16, and thou take their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a whoring after their gods, right? Shout out to all of us acting like the northern and southern kingdom got different gods, right? This is one of the precepts I will pull out when we have that discussion, right? Of how tribe jumping came about, right? A Jamaican can get with a Puerto Rican just fine, and that's okay, right? And we're gonna prove it when we do that one. Y'all see me take that note that one day. We gonna get to it. We gonna break all this stuff down. You know, Father willing, he keep me kicking and ticking, right? We gonna talk about it. They stole that phrase from me too. We gonna talk about it, right? Let's talk about it, right? And make thy sons go a whoring after their God. 17, thou shalt make thee no molten gods. Do we know what that is? A molten god. Molten is past tense of melt. And that's the way we made anything. You gotta melt it. You gotta throw it through that furnace, turn it into a red hot liquid. And as it dries, it hardens, and you can form it into whatever you need to make it into. That's a melted god, you know. Take off your earrings, all your jewelry, and throw it in here. We gonna melt this gold. That's what they ended up doing, right? 18, the feast of unleavened bread shalt thou keep. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, as I commanded thee, in the time of the month of Abib, right? For in the month of Abib thou camest out of Egypt. All that opened the matrix is mine, right? And every firstling among thy cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. 20, but the firstling, right? The first of an ass, of a donkey, thou shalt redeem with a lamb. So bring me a donkey and a lamb, right? And if thou redeem him not, then shalt thou break his neck. Wow. All the firstborn of thy sons thou shalt redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 21. 6 days thou shalt work, but on the 7th day thou shalt rest. In earing time and in harvest thou shalt rest. 22. And thou shalt observe the feast of weeks, of the first fruits of wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the year's end. 23. Thrice in a year shalt all your men children appear before the Most High thy power, the power of Israel. 24. For I will cast out the nations before thee, and enlarge thy borders. Neither shall any man desire thy land, when thou shalt go up to appear before the Most High thrice in a year. Right? 25. Thou shalt not offend the blood of my sacrifice with leaven, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover be left unto the morning. 26. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of the Most High thy power. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Right? So you shall not boil, a baby calf or nothing in the milk of his mother. All right. 27. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. 28. And he was there with the Most High 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the tables of words of the covenant the 10 commandments. Right? So that's why when you fast and you read this word, man, you're going here. You're doing what Moses did. You're joining yourself with the Most High. Oh, the Most High gets so close, right? You can feel him, right? You'll be hungry those first few days, and then it's like when the Father is close to you, you won't need food or drink. You won't even miss it, right? 29. And it came to pass, when Moses came down from the Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of testimony in his hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses wist not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. His face was shining, right? The skin of his face was shining. 30. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him, to come nigh him. Right? You imagine that? 31. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the congregation returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. 32. And afterwards all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them in commandment all that the Most High had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. 33. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face, because he shining so bright. He had to dim it for him, right? He had to put a veil on. 34. But when Moses went in before the Most High to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spake unto the children of Israel that which he was commanded. 35. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. His face is shining again. Every time he went up and came back down, right, they couldn't even look in his face. He had to cover his face up, right? Last commas. And Moses put the veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. Right? So that's us getting these covenants, y'all. That's special. You know, that's mad special. That's enough for us to crawl into, right? If that don't mean nothing to you, y'all, you're numb. You're numb. And you will go and you will get sucked up into this world, right? These are the things right here that's supposed to be sticking with us, y'all. We supposed to hear that right there and go there in our mind and marvel, right? This is our forefathers. Everything is attached to this. Every reason why we suffer has everything to do with this. Listen to our forefathers. Get that law, y'all. Tablets, right? Tabloids, right? I ain't talking about, no Mac tablet today, right? We got those now. But back then, it was chopped stone, right? Yeah. Fall in love with this stuff, y'all. Because this is what's going to save our life, right? Being into this. Being mesmerized by this. Going there in our mind, being able to go there with Moses and Aaron in our mind and receive this law. He's feeding us with the heritage of Jacob, our father, right now. That's supposed to mean something when we get it, when we receive it, right? Man, give him all the glory, all the praise, all the honor. Shabbat Shalom, y'all. That's what we doing. We about to keep this Sabbath. About to keep a beautiful Sabbath for the Most High. Shout out for all of y'all that's going to do it. Right? And for y'all that ain't going to do it, you know that you got to go to work or you got other plans. You got some prior engagements that you're about to do and all of that. You'll be on it soon, and the Spirit, it's entering into you right now. The Spirit is air. I got air in me. It's going to make sound. That sound you take into your body, into that air that's in your body. And that's the way this is transferred, y'all. That's the way Romans 10:17, faith come by hearing, right? And that's how the Most High comes to us. I didn't want to be thinking about that. I didn't purposely take my mind there when I start feeling guilty about going anywhere on the Sabbath, even if I was going to the church to deal with the iron. I knew how it felt to keep a good Sabbath, right? And I got mixed up in the church so long, I start missing that, and I start feeling wrong. I didn't like how I felt. And I start feeling a way about that. Yeah. And I start yearning to keep me a good solid Sabbath, right? And when I finally got to do it, it felt so good, right? It quenched something. And I was just like, oh, praises. And I said, I got to get back on this. This has to be my life again soon. Right. And I already had, the revelation of what the Most High wanted me to do. I was already back from the sapphire blue. I was already back from it. Matter of fact, let's get that. Right. Let's get that one time. Long overdue, right? It's in Ezekiel 1:26. Right? I blew over this and it meant nothing 1,000 times, right? Ezekiel 1:26, right? And above the firmament, that's above the sky, right? That was over their heads was the likeness of a throne. So there's a throne up over the firmament, right? Up over the highest sky, because there's many of them. It's blue, then it turns black, right? And then there's just layers, right? There's many skies, right? We're in the atmosphere, right? And you got the stratosphere and the ionosphere and, you know, all kind of spheres, right? Multiple heavens, layers of it, right? But on top of all of that, there's a throne, a big old chair, right? That's what a throne is. As the appearance of a sapphire stone, right? So that's this color right here, y'all. That's this blue. That's sapphire, right? As the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man. That's the Most High. And he was, boop, I could feel him, right? Above, upon it. Right? So, I couldn't just, I'm strong enough now, but I couldn't come here. I couldn't come here and read this with y'all. Right? Ain't no telling what it would have happened while I'm in front of y'all on this camera, right? It's real emotional. Very emotional, right? But all praises to the Most High. It takes me back into that place. I get a tunnel vision and all of that when I talk about this. You know? But it's beautiful, y'all. And it's so much information, y'all. And it's so much strength. And it's so much peace. It's so much peace. And it's so much courage, y'all. It's so much bravery. Right? Oh, I was going to do what I'm supposed to do. And it don't matter who don't like it, right? It don't matter who don't like it. Oh, no. We have a new mission and all of that. A brand new mission. And confirmation. I ain't worried. I ain't worried, y'all. I know that 1 Corinthians chapter 13, it ain't no going wrong. If you master that chapter, y'all, I'm going to keep on saying it. That chapter is number one. Everything else that this book is saying, everywhere else that it's saying it, number two. Number two, y'all. That whole New Testament is brought for 1 Corinthians chapter 13 to sum it up. You could keep 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and you'll see that you can drift into any other part of that Bible and you're gonna be on point with it. You're gonna be doing what you're supposed to have been doing. I guarantee you. Somebody prove me wrong. Somebody show me two scriptures that don't match, with one of them being out of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And you tell me if I lie. He made that clear in that realm. Right? And it's instantaneous, right? Soon as I drifted into there, I knew everything. I knew everything, y'all. And it was comforting. And I never felt a bad feeling, y'all. There was no pain. None. There was no fear. Wasn't none of that. I was cold. I remember being real cold. That's it. I just got real cold. And then I got real warm. And it was a warmth that's like nothing describes it in the earth. But close to it is, imagine being cold and then diving into a pool of warm gel, right? Can you imagine how that would feel? It ain't like how you come out in the cold and then it's so, the warmth feels, it hurts, because you're so cold and then you thrust into this heat and then you trying to warm up and then it's like stinging. It wasn't like that. Imagine being thrown into a pool of warm gel and then just and moving all around. I'm flailing and stuff slowly and I'm just I'm feeling it and I'm just like right? Like, man, what is this? And it just feels so good, right? And then it was time for the adventure, right? We're moving. I could have stayed in the dark forever. I didn't need to see nothing. But then I start seeing stuff, y'all. And I'm like, whoa, I'm looking around and the sights that I'm seeing, we'll go into it. We'll go into it another time. Or y'all want to go into it right now? Let me get 7 sevens and I'll go into it right now. If 7 people drop 7s right now, I'll keep talking about this. Otherwise, I'm finna jump off of here and we continue tomorrow. I'll go live again tomorrow and we'll hang out for the Shabbat at some point, right? See how many people we got in here. We got a few people in here. All praises, See how we doing. Am I by myself or what? Because I know how that is. It'll show numbers, but we done jumped up and went somewhere and got busy. And only 13 of us is friends anyway. A third of us is friends, right? All praises to the Most High. Shalom. Peace to the naysayers, right? We love y'all too. We gonna turn y'all too. We gonna make you love, right? We gonna take y'all. We gonna show y'all to this electric blue here, right? This sapphire, right? As the appearance of a sapphire stone, right? And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man. What did he say he was going to do? He said he was going to make us in his image, didn't he? That's why it's a man up there, right? And that's why it's a man down here, right? Sapphire stone. That color is very significant in all of this. And that's what color we are, y'all. Now there's other colors and there's emotions. It's emotions wrapped up in those colors. And what are those emotions? Spirits, y'all. Spirits. So I can see how you get these guys with the chakras and things like that. They're not off, y'all. They're just on They fell in love with that, right? The gods, whoever are talking to them and things like that, they fell in love with that aspect of things, of spirituality, right? And they worship that. And what is that? That's the creation, right? And that's what the sin is. You're worshiping the creation. No, tap in with the person who made that, who gave you that. And that's what they're doing. They're getting mesmerized by that. And it is mesmerizing, right? Nobody walking this earth can say that it's not mesmerizing, right? And if you don't watch yourself, you will get sucked in, right? You running around cocky and all of that, like you above this and better than that and all of that, and then you look up and it got you by your throat, right? Nah, don't fall in love with nothing beneath the creator, right? More than you fall in love with the creator. Don't get to worshiping the creation. But yeah, that's a lot. Well, let me see that. Let me see something real quick. Show y'all something real quick. Y'all see that? This stuff is not off, y'all. You see that purple one up there? Y'all see that, right? Look what's at the bottom. Red and yellow. Wow. Red, orange, and then yellow. I haven't looked at this, y'all. I'm looking at this for the first time right now with y'all. But I know that black background and I know them dots, and that's what made me come here, right, spontaneously right now. But I didn't know the order of these colors or nothing. But yeah, red, that's anger, y'all. That's you ain't nothing. You know what I mean? You are emotionally immature down there at that red, and that, you know what I mean? That's, feistiness and violence and all of that to deal with, your problems and things like that. Or to deal with your happiness, right? Like you at a rave or a heavy metal concert or something like that. They're using violence because they are happy, y'all. That's at your weakest state, right? So this stuff it's not off, right? But know where it comes from, right? And know what he says about everything. And know how to not anger him, right? Know how to not make him mad. And how do we do that? By that law we just read out of, and by keeping this Sabbath and eating right and doing what you're supposed to be doing and feeling the right spirits, right? Being in the correct moods. That's why so many of these scriptures are telling us to be brave, right? Be of a good courage, right? Because it's trying not to have you fear, because fear is a trait of the devil. What else is it telling you? Love your brother, right? Love even your enemy, right? Why? Because if that enemy can drag you into that red dot, you know what I'm saying? And if you do enough of that, when it's time for you to shed this flesh, you're going to turn into something red, y'all. Can you imagine what that feels like? Oh, you're angry, but you're scared, right? And then you're trying to hurt something and you're trying to kill something and something is trying to kill you, right? But you're hurting and you're burning, right? And you're confused and you don't know what's going on and you're frazzled, right? Those are all of the emotions you're going to get if that's how you spent the most of your time living your life. And if you didn't tame those spirits, right? Guys. Yeah, the colors of the rainbow, right? And he gave us the rainbow without the black background. So he brought all of those colors and wrapped them across the sky, right? Like, look how beautiful these colors are. Let me give you a rainbow. Let me give you a piece of the studio, right? Because this stuff is the studio, y'all. And I realized that too, right? That was given into my bosom too, that, hey, this is where things are being formed. Now I see how he's going to suck this world up in this heaven and give us another one, y'all. You see that? And he's making it right now, right? Christ said that. I go to make a place for you, ain't it? Let's go there. First John, or St. John 14:3. Right? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Right? Let's get some more of that. Right? Let's get it from the top. Let not your heart be troubled. Why not? Ye believe in God, believe also in me. Right? He's letting you know I'm on the same team. And those are blessed words, y'all. We would just blow over that and not even understand the importance of that and what a blessing that is, right? Because there's so many coming in the Most High's name when in real life they ain't for the Most High, and they really coming in the name of the devil, and they really just trying to trap somebody, right? Hold on real quick. Amana is crazy, man. She causing all kind of trouble today. Where were we? But ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me. That's what we need, y'all. That's what we need. You know, we need the one that's going to get us back to the Father, right? We need the one that's going to get us back to the Father. In my Father's house is many mansions, right? Because he could just whip them up. He could just, he could just make them, right? If it were not so, I would have told you, right? I would tell you if it ain't no mansions there. I'm telling you that there's mansions there, right? Now he gonna give us some more. What else is he saying? I go to prepare a place for you. So see, he got to go make it. And when he left, he went back to the studio, right? Darkness, right? And dots. And he's forming all of this stuff, right? They made hell like that, right? He looked at the world, and remember he had to go back and enlarge hell, make it bigger to fit more people. That's the studio, y'all. They're making all of these realms, who whipped up Abraham's bosom of paradise, right? Shoot, shot that over there, right? Made the torture chambers, I can imagine when they expanded hell, that's how that came about. That's why it's so specific, right? This realm is for this kind of person. All the people who was doing this and the people that was doing that, right? When we read the Apocalypse of Paul, right? The people that was breaking fasts and stuff like this, right? They gonna hang over fruit, right? And they're gonna be able to reach and miss the fruit by like that much, right? Barely be able, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna be able to get it in their clutch, right? Man, what kind of torture is that? Right? But that's why got to do the right thing. And you'll never hear about that. You'll never witness that. Why? Because this you right here. I go to prepare a place for you, right? Now 3 again. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, right? I will come again and receive you unto myself, right? That where I am, there ye may be also, right? And whither I go, ye know, and the way you know, right? So he's saying the place that I do go to, you're going to see it later, right? That's what that part means. And whither I go, ye know, and the way ye know. I know the way, y'all. I told you whenever I see a word, way, path, any of that, I think about when I'm shooting through, when I'm getting sucked by that love, right? And I'm going, right? That was a path. It was a way. And I'm thinking about that, right? I have all my thoughts. And not only do I have them, but they're like heightened. It's a clearer mind, y'all. It's a clearer mind. Thoughts are different thoughts. Right now, it's just something in your head somewhere, you know. But in that situation, your thoughts is stronger than that. It's an actual place in all of that. It feels stronger than just, you know, something that only exists in your mind. No, you become that. You become those thoughts. You become those emotions, right? So it's strong on you. And I know it's a strange thing to be talking about, y'all. We talking about death, y'all. If you witness this, you are dead, right? If you witness this, you are no longer living. And it's not such a bad thing anymore. And that reminds me, let's go out, right? With Try Gold. You guys know what I'm talking about in that song? Talking about death, y'all. You know, so maybe I was a little obsessed, you know. I really was closing the curtains on this earth before I had my incident, you know. And I wasn't afraid of it then. And I yearned kind of for the Father, you know. And I really wanted to see it. And he showed me. He showed me to it. And now I feel better that I'm back. I'm back now. And it's like, okay, I can live now, you know. And I can live good. I can do what I need to do now. I was going to do it anyway. But now just, you know, I got to bounce in my walk now, you know. It's crazy. What about going up? What I say on going up? Ain't never been no game to me. I came in this truth to get right and die. I meant that with my whole soul when I said that, y'all. I didn't come in here playing. I was trying to witness it. I was trying to put it under my belt. And then I was trying to put time beneath the time I had it under my belt. I was trying to see that grow time and be able to say, man, I've been in this righteousness, that righteousness. I've been doing this for this many years, that many years, right? I was nailing so much stuff and putting it behind me, y'all, right? For myself. What was spilling out, you know. But, man, 70%, I didn't say anything about it. I kept to myself, right? But that's what I was talking about, y'all. And I just want to tell y'all out there, man, if you're listening, you know what I'm saying? Smile, y'all, and be happy. And, man, look the things up and down that say nay, right? Because you blessed out there and you glorious, y'all. And you got the same Father as Christ. And you got the same blood as Christ running through your veins, right? Shout out to the Gentiles also in Christ, right? Because you're going to be blessed as well. Man, the Father got some great things for us, y'all. And guess what? It's only emotions, y'all. It's feelings. You would trade gold for it. You wouldn't, right? You'll choose it over diamonds, y'all. You'll choose it over all the riches in the world, just a feeling, right? And the devil would make you feel bad about that. Oh, you a sucker. You a sucker to this and blah, blah. And you know what I mean? Nah. If a feeling to keep you right, then why not? Why be ashamed of that? I'm not ashamed of that, right? If I could feel good in righteousness, all praises to the Most High, right? Because they going to hell for a feeling, right? So if I could feel a feeling and it's getting me to something that look like this background right here, then by all means, let me live for a feeling then. And let me get trapped in that feeling and do decades, right? And I could see why the Father got me back here to spread that and to encourage that, right? And to encourage that, y'all. This temporary right there, what we dealing with in this earth, right? But that electric blue, it's gonna last a little longer, right? And then we going from there into the production, right? Because this is the studio, right? That's the studio, y'all. That's where things are made. That's where, you know what I'm saying? What is it? The substance of things hoped for and all of that, right? The evidence of things not seen. That's where it's coming from. The evidence that's not seen, where it is seen when it's not seen here, it's seen in there, right? The substance of things hoped for, when you ain't got it here and you wishing for it, it's here. It's in that background right there. That's where it's going to come from, right? This is that invisible place that all of this stuff is coming from, y'all. And with that, I say Shabbat Shalom, right? I love y'all. We going to make it. The Most High is doing a special thing in the earth in the last days for the righteous, right? Absolutely. He didn't forget about us. And boy, he was going to show us something. He didn't forget about us. Let me load this joint up. And go out with it.
Same way your gold is try. Yeah. Same way your silver define. Father, I give you my life. Yeah. Straight to the top, let's make it. Keep it a die, don't fake it. If it's a lie, don't say it. If it ain't broke, don't break it. If it ain't truth, don't play it. If it's a sin, he hate it. Disturbing the Most High daily. Lord to the Most High present. These things ain't easy to see. Sight gotta come from He. Father revealed all things. Gotta drop to your knee. Gotta learn how to not eat. Cease from the body in the meat. Start that flesh so the spirit can rise. In iniquity die. Flee from the dark. Run into the light. It'll be alright. Yeah. Everything be fine. Know they been trying to make us lose our mind. Though the aim is 9, he ain't gon' let nothing touch it. Jacob will be saved out. Fear not them that kill the body. Eternity, what this all about. My heart in your hand. About to run your man. Really don't need to know your plan. Just your commands make me stand. Like you make all your enemies bow down. Keep me there. With my feet planted on solid ground. To the gap. To the gap, to the gap, all the way, to the gap, till I see you. Same way your silver divine, yeah, same way your gold is tried. To the gap, all the way, to the gap, all the way. Wanna be with you. Same way your silver divine, yeah, same way your gold is tried. not never by my power. If I lean on that, I'ma fall. If I focus on my wants, then I ain't gon' last too long. I'ma be in my feelings, flunk every test I'm giving, cause of how I was dealing. I stand at the throne of villain, gotta keep my mind stayed on you. That's what I'm gonna do, I shall not be moved till the day I'm through, till I'm there with you. Don't need nothing, not even respect from no man, let them all neglect. It's all about you, when they get checked, I know the beef is yours. Vengeance belong to the Lord, overcome evil with the good. Yeah, that's what the scripture's for. When I take my final breath, I don't wanna be nowhere else. Wanna go right back to your side and return to the same place that I live. I finished the race, and I done kept the faith. And I fought a good fight throughout my course, while I upheld your name. I don't just want where you live, really don't matter where we is. As long as you are there, that's where I'm trying to get. To the gap, to the